Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? Let me make sure I am hitting live in all the places. And what are you grateful for today? Like I always say, I am grateful that I actually woke up. That's an amazing accomplishment to start the day, right? Hold on a second. Let me hitting live and that I actually woke up. That's an amazing. There we go. Give me just a second as there we go. Here we go. I know I'm saying here we go a lot, aren't I? And as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So it's quite chilly here this morning in Georgia. I don't know how it is where you are, but I know I was talking to someone the other day and they were having a lot of snow. So I feel grateful that I only have the cold and not the snow. And interestingly enough, yes, you know how Facebook sends you the pictures, of a year ago or whatever. Well, February 24th, I can't remember what year it was. Probably about 6 years ago. I can't remember. But anyway, on February 25th, we had a pretty significant snow here in Georgia. So I was quite reminded that this little cold snap that we are having right now could happen again, and it's not often that we get snow really. And so we'll see how it goes. My thing is, if it's going to be cold or it's going to be snowy, I want it to be when it's supposed to be, not wait till like springtime and throw something at us. Because we've had that happen before, but it's been, I don't even know how many eons ago. But it's just one of those things, right? I love getting in the snow and playing in the snow and looking at the snow, but I'm not one of those people that want to live in a place where it does it a lot, right? To me, it's beautiful, but it stops. And maybe it's because I'm in Georgia, and when snow happens, everything comes to a standstill. And it's not like in a lot of places where there's a lot of winter sports. So it's like when it snows, you can go out there and play around in the snow, maybe do a sled or something like that. But there's really not a lot that you can do. So you end up just being inside. And so I'm always grateful for being able to go outside and do things because like Sue Anderson with Entrepreneurs Goes Wild, the thing that helps most of us is as entrepreneurs is to get out in nature and allow our creativity to flow. And she's got an amazing retreat that she's creating, retreat space. And so it is coming together. And so as things progress with her, I'll be letting you guys know. Maybe I'll have her come in and have a conversation with you guys. But while I'm thinking about it, I had an amazing human on my podcast yesterday, and she's actually in the Stand Up and Stand Out community. Her name is Rose Monk. And oh my gosh, the story of the things that she has gone through and come out on the other side being an amazing, amazing person is astronomical. So when that episode drops, I'll definitely be putting it in there for you. But the reason I'm telling you about her this morning is because she has agreed to come in as a guest expert on Monday, March 10th at 2 p.m. She's going to be our guest expert. And she has, she works a lot with PTSD and a lot of things, right? She has stuff about cognitive memory, amazing. The thing is that she's got several talks going on this week, and to kind of tap in to see what she will be talking about and who she is. And so I'll be dropping the links to her talks. And I would love it if you guys could go in and support her being there at the talks And she has a partner with one of them where it's like a Q&A where you just have a chat and you can ask questions. And I think that there's a psychologist. I don't know. I don't remember the particulars. I'd have to go back and listen to the whole episode, to be honest with you. But I'm going to drop those links so that you can go and you can see what she's about and what she does. And we are so compatible when it comes to the things that she talks about and everything. We discuss things a lot the same, but she has so much great knowledge to impart with you. And I definitely want you to be able to take advantage of her expertise. So like I said, I'm going to drop the links. After I get off here, I'll drop the links for her talks, and you can go in and sign up to be in one of her talks. They're free, and it will give you an opportunity to see who she is and what she does, so that you can definitely be here in March when she is going to be the guest expert. So remember, her name's Rose Monk. You can check her out in the actual group. She is a member, and so I'm super excited to share her with you guys, because I'm telling you, I had no idea of all the things that she has come through in her life. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the affirmation and get right to it. Hold on a second. You have to excuse me. I've got some allergies going on right now. All right, so here is our affirmation. I feed my mind daily with knowledge and inspiration. See, that's why you're here. Knowledge and inspiration. I am a constant learner, choosing to listen more, observe deeply, and grow every day. And, you know, one of the things I've talked about not too long ago was, if speaking of a room as the people that you surround yourself with, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, because you want to surround yourself with people that help you grow and become more. And so I want you to think about that a lot. So what books are you reading? I mean, I have I have books all the time. I have audiobooks, and then I listen to a lot of amazing content on YouTube, on podcast. And so if you're here, I'm assuming, you know what they say about assuming, right? But if you're here, I feel that you are probably one of those constant learners too. And a constant learner doesn't mean that you're constantly in college and expanding and expanding, but doing nothing in your life. I have known people that used constant learning in that way to avoid actually moving forward in life. And so that's not you, right? That's not me. I love to learn, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So until something shows up and you realize, whoa, I don't know anything about that and I want to know, where do you find that information? How do you come across the thing? I don't know about that. It's by doing something, by reading something, by surrounding yourself with people who know more than you. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to feed your mind daily amazing knowledge and inspiration. Because as I always say, the only constant in life is change. So whether we're doing anything or not, we are not standing still. We're either moving forward or we're moving backwards, because we can't stay in the same place. It's impossible. Everything is always changing. So we either change on purpose by feeding ourselves daily with knowledge and inspiration, or we don't. And then we are actually moving backwards. We're not staying where we are. You're either growing or you're dying is the big phrase, right? I choose to grow. I choose to live a magnificent life. And the only way to make that happen is to continuously surround myself with people who are growing and pulling me. They're not pushing me, they're pulling me with them. And to be constantly learning something new, being aware that I don't know everything I need to know. And when you're surrounding yourself with people who are growing and learning at the same time, and you're reading or you're listening to audios, you're doing something, you'll come across something that will just be this epiphany that you might have read or heard 1,000 times. But in this moment right here, it's like poof, all of a sudden it connects in a way that it didn't connect before. I know for me, Stacy Lauren is my mentor, and there's times that I've talked to her, and after I got off the phone, I thought, I know she said that to me so many times, but today it hit different. It really, really resonated with me, and I understand it more. And it's just like I've shared before. I have a plethora of books, right? And sometimes I'll get these books out and I'll open it up and I'll read it again because we get away from certain things, and it's good to refresh our memories, right? So I'll get the book out and I'll start reading it, and then I'll see all the highlights that I put in there, but those are not the parts that I would highlight this time. It's something else. And it's because I've grown, and what I needed to pull out of that book is different than it was the time before. And it actually feels almost like somebody came in and put new information in that book because I didn't even see it before, right? But that's not what happened. What happened is I grew to where I needed different information, where different information would be highlighted in my vision, would highlight something and say, ooh, that's important. So now I do a thing that Myron Golden talks about when you're reading a book. I don't always do it because it does slow you down a lot, but it's brilliant. And what he recommends is that as you're reading a book, instead of highlighting, you have sticky notes and you write down your interpretation of the thing you were going to highlight. So you're not just highlighting this person's words, you're putting that phrase in your own words. It's almost like when, I don't know if you had this experience, you probably did, but when I was in school, there was a lot of times they would give you a story to read, and you were supposed to take that and put it your own little cliff notes. You were supposed to put your interpretation of it. So it's like each section that you want to highlight, instead of highlighting it, you can still do that, right? But you take your sticky note and you write out what that means to you. Why do you want to highlight it? What's important about it, right? And then you put that in your book. And then what you'll do later is you'll take those sticky notes and you'll take that and you'll create a quote of yours from what you wrote. So then you're actually going to be quoting about the book, but in your own words. Brilliant, right? I'm not that great at it yet. It's something I'm still growing into because, like I said, it does slow you down, but you need to slow down sometimes. And so when it gets to this place, sometimes when I'm reading a book, it's like, oh, where are my sticky notes? Let me do this. And then sometimes a sticky note is not big enough. So then I'll pull out the index card and I'll have index cards stuck inside books. And so then you can take that book, and I know I'm getting way off topic, I don't know, but then you can take that book, and when you, instead of rereading it, but that's always fun because there's new things that show up for you, right? But you can take your index cards or your sticky notes out and get a synopsis of what that book is about and what it meant to you. But like I said, when you're growing and changing, what means something to you in that book changes just like you do. So it's beautiful, right? So if you don't have a book to read right now, or you don't have an audio book that you're listening to, or you don't have someone that you follow on YouTube, then let me know. And I will recommend some books, because I'm telling you, there are some amazing books. And I'm reading, I always have more than one book on my nightstand. I always have more than one book in my audios, because I want to just pick and choose what feels good for the morning. But I don't know what I don't know. So I'm continuously feeding my mind daily with knowledge and inspiration. So there you go. Your affirmation today: I feed my mind daily with knowledge and inspiration. I am a constant learner, choosing to listen more, observe deeply, and grow every day. And remember, our I am statements are so powerful. They are you claiming that that is you. So I am a constant learner, choosing to listen more, observe deeply, and grow every day. And the thing that I wrote down as I was trying to figure out, well, what did I do? I just hit something here. Sorry. I put down, I'm a constant learner. Today, I ask more questions and I talk less. I feed my mind every day. And those were the things that I was thinking. And that's how this affirmation came about. Because the thing is, when you're around people and you're not listening, what you're doing is you're looking like you're listening, but in your mind, you're figuring out your response to what they say. And so that's not really true listening. So I invite you not only to open your mind with knowledge and inspiration, but to be a constant learner, where today I want you to practice this. When someone is talking, you are quiet and you listen to their words without worrying about what you're going to say in response. And if they say something and your mind has wandered a second, which will happen, especially as you just begin doing this, I want you to stop and say, wait a minute, I missed that. What did you just say? And just be involved in the conversation, whether that's in person or virtually. It doesn't matter. It's the same way of communication. And what you will find is not only will the people feel so much more heard and understood, but you will understand what they're saying and you will get more information, because you don't learn by talking, you learn more by listening. Now, there is another thing, though, that when you are teaching, sometimes you learn more than the student. But that is not because you hear your own voice. It's because you see what the other people are dealing with and how they connect with your words. And then you get more understanding of what you've just said. So there's a lot of this that is really, really important to be diving into, right? So learning is a daily habit. So take this daily habit and run with it. So just like we nourish our bodies, our minds, our thoughts, our inside needs constant feeding too. So like I said, like books, podcasts, conversations that you have with someone, new experiences. So how can you fuel your mind every day? By being a constant learner, right? And like I just said, listening is a superpower, because when we listen more than we speak, we gain new perspectives, deeper connections, and unexpected wisdom. So stay curious. Keep learning. Grow, learn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Hold on. Delete. Let's see if that shows the whole thing. Yay! All right. So let me check this window over here. Hello, Sandra. Good to have you here. All right. So our journal prompt What's one thing I've learned recently that inspired or challenged me? Right? What's one thing I've learned recently that inspired or challenged me? Because we want to be inspired and we want to be challenged to grow and be more than we are right now. Not to say we're not enough, but remember, the only constant in life is change. So be changing on purpose by constantly learning and being inspired and challenged. But how in this past week, 2 weeks, in the past month, how about January? How much did you feel inspired? What challenged you? And spend some time journaling on that today to get insights about what's going on with you, because we can't grow unless we move from where we are, right? So then how can I practice listening more today to open myself up to new insights and growth? Now, I just talked about how we practice listening. We make sure that any conversation that we have today, any conversation, whether it is here, whether it is in person, on the phone, wherever it is, we are silent while they are speaking. And that doesn't mean we are practicing or thinking about what our response is. So one of the things that I would invite you to do is that as you're having a conversation today, have a piece of paper in front of you. And instead of thinking of what was your response going to be, when they say something that you know you want to respond to, you write that thing down. And then you keep listening. Something else is said, you write that thing down. And then when you get finished, oh, this is going to make you very, very popular. When you get finished, you're going to say, wait a minute, let me make sure I understood you correctly. And then those things that you wanted to answer, you ask if that's what they said. I think I heard you say this, this, and this, right? And they'll either say yes, or they'll say no, and then they'll tell you again. You write it down again. Because a lot of times we are so busy taking what they're saying and interpreting it from our point of view that we didn't get it at all. And so the art of communication is making sure that you understand fully what the other person is saying. Now, that doesn't have to be, that's amazing in relationships, right? In your romantic relationships, your family relationships, your friends. But that is really big when it comes to business relationships. When you have customers, when you have clients, when you have other coworkers, when you have anybody that you're talking to and you're communicating with, it is paramount that you utilize these tools so that you become the person that not only listens fully, but understands better. And the more you practice this, the better your communication will be. And as you get to that flow, oh my gosh, the things that you're going to learn from other people and be able to impart onto them, oh, I'm telling you, it will be mind-blowing how different that feels when you do utilize that, right? And I do that with clients because a lot of times clients are telling me something and I may not have dealt with what they're dealing with, or I did, but I did it in a different way. So when they tell me something, I can't put my spin on it. It's not my story, right? So I write down things and then I will talk back to them to make sure, let me get this straight. You said this, did I get that right? Or is that what you meant? Or am I correct? Or is that correct? So it is changing the way you communicate makes you feel so much better and they feel so heard and understood. So that is how you can practice listening more today to open yourself up to new insights and growth. You've got this. It just takes a little more effort for you to be thinking of what they're saying instead of what you're going to say back. I'm telling you, it's some powerful stuff. All right, back to our affirmation. I feed my mind daily with knowledge and inspiration. I am a constant learner, choosing to listen more, observe deeply, and grow every day. So put that on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes, put it on a piece of paper and stick it to your fridge. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it today and be reminded to keep feeding your mind. Keep learning, keep growing, right? And that I am statement, I am a constant learner, choosing to listen more. Powerful, powerful. Observe deeply, and grow every day, because it is possible. We don't stay stagnant in the same place. Like I said, we're either growing or we're dying. We're moving forward or we're moving backwards. So you get to choose. And then our journal prompt. What's one thing I've learned recently that inspired or challenged me? What is one thing I've learned recently that inspired or challenged me? It could have done both. It inspired you and challenged you, right? How can I practice listening more today to open myself up to new insights and growth? And you will be so shocked when you work with this, right? So as I always recommend, get out your notebook, your journal prompt, put the date, the affirmation, the journal prompt, write it down, speak it out loud with emotion, with feeling, and then set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. Quiet the chatter in your mind, focus on your breath, and just be in silence. And just breathe. And then as your mind starts to wander, which it will, you stop, you go back to your breath. You don't have to be saying this affirmation and journal prompt in your mind as you're sitting there. No, you just focus on your breath. Even you can say breathe in, breathe out, whatever, to keep you in that moment, because in the background, your subconscious mind is working all of this out. And then when the timer goes off and you pick up the pen, there is a connection between your brain and your hand. And the things that you're thinking that need to come out and your inner guidance, it flows through your hand on the written page. And as you write out, do not critique anything, because sometimes we can say, well, that's silly. Why would I think that? But write it down anyway. That's silly. I would never do that. That's nothing that happened to me. Write it down anyway, because your subconscious mind is giving you, and your inner guidance is giving you guidance that most of the time our mind is so busy, we do not hear. And so it's time to really dive in to all that guidance that we have, all that support that we have within, and stop the busyness and connect. And then when you write it out, what's one thing I've learned recently that inspired or challenged me? You're going to find that there's a hell of a lot more than one. And write everything down. Just brain dump whatever shows up. And then look at it and see, how was that an inspiration, or how did that challenge me? Spend a little bit of time with it. Don't just write it down and then just drop it. You could even take each one of the things. If there's one that shows up, write about that. But if there's more than one, write about how it inspired or challenged you, or maybe how it did both. How did it show up for you? And dive into this inner guidance that's really talking to you right now. And then how can I practice listening more today to open myself up to new insights and growth? I just talked about some of the ways. So then what I would ask you to do is not just a how can I, Maybe how did I? And so as you go through your day to day, really practice the listening skill and how to talk back to them to make sure that you understood. And your relationships, whether it's with a client or a loved one, will be so much better because people that feel heard love you and want to follow you. So you want a following on your social media, you want a following of clients, learn to listen. It's powerful stuff. I would love to hear how it goes for you. And if you're here watching the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. And I'll be honest, I've been quite busy lately, so I have not been in on yesterday's talk yet to see who's came in and watched on the replay, or I haven't been able to check my messages. And I know I get messages a lot of times from people. So if you want to reach out in a message or you say something in the comments and I don't respond right away, I still love you. I don't mean any disrespect. It's just sometimes I've been busy with a lot of things going on and I may not have quite responded right away because not only tonight is another meeting of the Rewrite Your Money Story, which you can still get in if you want to. We are going to be doing it again because we are getting so many people that are really loving the content. So we're going to do it again, but check it out. I'll put the link in the comments, Rewrite Your Money Story, and it is amazing. And then Christine and I, that is Sue Anderson and I have that one. And then Christine and I have the Get Your Sexy Back program that is on Wednesday. And it's a month-long program and we've just begun. So you can actually get back, you can get in on that one as well. But I'm telling you, it is about body positivity. It's your mindset. It's getting your fitness in touch with your fitness, in touch with your body. And Christine's a chef as well as a physical fitness expert, I guess you would say. So there's so much amazing, wonderful things in there. So, and remember, I'm going to be dropping the links today for Rose Monk's talks that she's going to be doing this week, because all of these things, I'm telling you this to empower you to take your life and grow and become even more. So what has recently inspired or challenged you? If there's nothing there, then it's time to dive into some of these things that will help you to be inspired and challenged. All right. So you have an amazing day. Stay curious, keep learning, and let your growth speak louder than words. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Love you guys.